It starts with a pause, a long one, the kind of pause that tells you something heavy is about to land. It's a little difficult for me to talk about production because that's not my territory, and just like that, the wall goes up. Responsibility? Not mine. Decisions? Not mine. Storylines? Not my department. But here's the thing. When your face is the face of the empire, when your voice is the one echoing through every episode, people don't separate you from the machine. They see you as the machine. And that's where the heat really begins. Because for years, viewers watched in shock, in awe, in disbelief. The screaming, the makeovers, the tears. We were all rooting for you. That moment alone became a cultural catchphrase. But behind that explosive television was something else. Pressure, humiliation, and sometimes lines that felt very crossed. And now, with hindsight sharper than ever, everyone's asking the same question. Who was really in control? On one side, there's the claim, no creative control, none, zero. On the other side, insiders saying she was deeply involved in story, in shoots, in the direction of it all. You can't tiptoe around that forever. At some point, being an adult in the room means saying no. Even if the audience wants more drama, even if ratings are climbing, even if the chaos makes great TV. Parents say no to protect their kids. Leaders are supposed to do the same. And then came the apologies. Public, repeated, emotional. Regrets over pressuring a contestant about her teeth gap because agencies wouldn't book her. Regrets over losing her temper in front of the world. Regret over moments that at the time were framed as tough love, but now feel like something heavier. She admitted she lost it, said it was bigger than the situation, but once it aired, it lived forever. The photo shoots only added fuel to the fire. Tarantulas crawling across skin, models posed in coffins, meat draped over bodies, crime scene themes, and then the race-swapping shoot, the one that cracked everything open. The intention, she said, was to celebrate women of color, but the execution, painting white women darker and shifting ethnicities for a concept. Even team members admitted sitting in meetings confused, unsure, but choosing to support because it was her show. That was the breaking point for many, because supporting women of color by altering race visually, it didn't sit right. Not then, definitely not now. One creative director remembers standing alone on camera explaining the idea, his name attached to the concept, while the backlash exploded worldwide. "Are you crazy?" people asked. "Have you lost your mind?" And when the storm hit, he felt like he wore it alone. He believed if she truly wanted to protect him, she would have stood beside him publicly when it aired. Instead, the silence felt loud. Looking back through today's lens, even she admits it's an issue. She understands why people are upset. Growth only comes when someone calls you out. That's what she says now. But for some former staff, the environment was more than just chaotic. They call it toxic, the most difficult workplace they'd ever experienced. And while hindsight makes judging easier, many insist it didn't feel right even back then. Then there's the darkest chapter. A contestant from an early season alleges she was sexually assaulted after a night of drinking while cameras rolled. She says she blacked out, says no one stopped it, says it was all filmed. Production members claim they treated the show like a documentary. Whatever happened on camera would be documented. That was the agreement. If a train wreck happened, they'd film the train wreck. They wouldn't stop it just because someone might get hurt. That philosophy hits differently when you hear it out loud. Some judges say they were kept completely separate from unfolding storylines so their reactions would stay authentic. One insists that if he had known in the moment, he would have intervened, says it's basic human decency. Father or not, you step in. But reality TV isn't known for being civil. It's known for pushing limits. And then came the fractures behind the scenes. A longtime creative partner claimed when he tried to leave after season 8, she stopped speaking to him. When asked about their falling out on camera, she dodged it, said she should call him instead of talking publicly. For him, that reaction said everything. No polished answer, no rehearsed speech, just discomfort. He says she's made a pointed effort never to mention him in the press. Silence can be strategic. Even more emotional was the story of a beloved runway coach who spent 5 weeks in a coma after a stroke. Others visited. They showed up at the hospital bedside. She didn't. Still, those who saw him during recovery say his spark never left. One eye rolling in defiance, humor intact, even when half his body wouldn't move. If anyone's gonna walk again, it's him. And he is getting stronger. Despite all the backlash, despite the documentary reopening old wounds, there's talk of a comeback, a new cycle, fresh plans, big ideas for the future. She's reportedly pitching it hard, determined to revive the franchise. But some former faces of the show say they haven't received a single call. And without the core trio who shaped its magic, they're skeptical. Good luck, one of them says. And that's where it all hangs. A legacy tangled between empowerment and exploitation, between opportunity and overreach, between intention and impact. The world watched it unfold in real time. Now the world is re-watching it with sharper eyes. And whether the show rises again or stays a relic of its era, one truth is clear.